Friday night racing
on Off the Ball.
And they're off.
brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. Visit hri.ie.
Yes, indeed, you're very welcome along to this week's Friday Night Racing live here on Off the Ball across all of our social platforms every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. We stream it on Facebook, we stream it on YouTube. The best place to get us is actually offtheball.com. And then every evening on Fridays, we are live on the radio from 8 o'clock. Brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. Visit hri.ie. You can follow the new Twitter account as well, at HRI Racing. Johnny Ward is with us this week. Johnny, how are you?
Not too bad now. Off to Dundalk after this. So getting in a bit of all-weather action. And
Have you got a runner?
No, just doing a bit of a promotion for a podcast we've started with Racing TV. So not a rival to this or anything like that.
Right, it better not be.
No, it's more of a.
I like the way you're telling me about this for the first time on air, so I can't overreact. What?
Yeah, I didn't actually mean that to be the case, but no, Racing.
Anyway, no, that's it. I don't care why you're going to the dock anymore. Anya, how are you? Aine O'Connor is our
anyway.
special guest this week.
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, not too bad.
How's it going? You were in the news because you had a double last week. Was that your first ever double?
First ever double, yeah. It was completely by chance. I won a demi-play for Paddy Roach, and I went in, showered, changed, and I was just getting ready to leave, and Mark Walsh came over to me and said, will you be able to claim off 9:13? So I was like, yeah, that shouldn't be a bother. I was like, why? And he said that Peter Fahey was looking for someone to ride his horse because poor Darrow O'Keefe, he ended up hurting his thumb. I think he may have fractured it, I'm not really sure, but he wasn't able to take the ride. So, yeah, I just got a lucky spare.
Right, and won in that as well.
Won in that,
2 rides,
yeah.
2 winners,
2 rides,
76
2
to 1
winners.
double.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And 2 actually lucrative enough races as well.
Yeah, two nice pots, yeah. The mare she's a little star. She's such a gem. She just travels and she loves jumping and she tries her heart out.
Is that Danny Plea?
No, that's Brawler there.
You have a relationship with Brawler going back, haven't you? Is that
Brawler,
your first time to ride it?
First time riding it, yeah.
So that's why Niall Madden is here in the background and you're very keen to go Christmas shopping today because you actually won quite a lot of money last weekend.
Well, I needed it because I crashed my car this morning, so I need to heading across the Curragh to Paddy's this morning at about 7:20, and I wasn't even going fast, I promise, and a sheep jumped out in front of me. So
you'd know that lots of sheep on the roads in the
There
Curragh.
are, yeah.
Yeah, so airbags.
How's the sheep?
The sheep is unfortunately
No
dead.
longer with
yeah.
us.
R.I.P. Mr. Sheep. But
Stick him in the boot for at least a bit of dinner.
The mutton.
no, I didn't.
Well, it wasn't yours in the
terrible.
first place.
Niall
Who
and
actually
Paddy.
owns the sheep there? Like, are they just...
A farmer,
No,
Johnny.
farmer.
A farmer.
But they just roam the roads.
Yeah, but they mark them. That's how they can tell which ones are which. I mean,
Yeah,
come
I'm
on.
more interested in
Did you think
the...
there were wild feral sheep on the Curragh who were like...
Well, can you allow, like, your sheep just to roam the roads and cause accidents?
Maybe if you're a free man of the Curragh, like Bono
Yeah,
can...
I think they have the right way, yeah, so I was at fault. So
You were at fault?
I was at fault for hitting the sheep. So now he did jump
the
out
sheep
in
is
front
dead
of
as well.
me.
In fairness, didn't.
Yeah, sorry,
right,
don't admit liability, JP, saying in my ear. Don't worry about that.
Sorry. So yeah, Paddy got the phone call to come out and help me, and Niall, he was supposed to be riding work in the Curragh at 8 o'clock. He was like, can you come help me, please? So the two of them pulled the sheep in off the road for me. Yeah, so...
You still came in onto the show anyway.
Still came onto the show, yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm very glad you did. Let's talk a little bit before we come back and talk about the actual races last weekend. Your day job is working with Race, the academy.
Yeah, that's it. So my job title is recruitment officer, which I feel like with the word officer I should have a badge, but I don't get one, yeah. So I, pretty much exactly as it says in the tin, recruitment. So I go out to schools, go pony racing, go to different shows, riding schools, urban horse projects, and pony club as well. So try to recruit 15, 16-year-olds in to do our trainee jockey course.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you have to have done before you can join Race?
Before you can join Race, you don't have to have anything done really. You just need to be 15, turning 16 before the 31st of December in that year. And you need to be 9 stone in or around. You can't be much heavier. Now we do the odd time, if we think that someone is very suitable, we'll bring them in, and if we think that we can help them to get their weight down, we'll have a chat with them, and they might be able to come on the course then. But they have to pass a trial, a 2 weeks trial, so we hold 2 separate week trials, and they have to pass a suitability test.
And what's the trial? What's the, like, over the course of that week, what do they do?
So they're in the barn, often scrubbing water pots, doing everything like that.
Right.
And they'll ride. Now don't have to have a lot of experience riding. They just need to show that they have some bit of athleticism about them, and that they want to, they're willing to learn.
Yeah.
And then they'll do a fitness test. We just more or less view them to see how they get on amongst the other students that are there that week as well.
Do a lot of people not make through that test?
Yeah, quite a few. We usually tend to take around 60 on trial, and then there's 30 spaces on the course.
Okay, right, so it's competitive.
Yeah, it is competitive, yeah.
And would a lot of people come back if you don't make it the first time? You get good, you go away, you learn exactly what that's like.
Exactly,
and then
yeah. We have a lot of students that do that, yeah.
Okay, are the weights getting kind of harder every year with I guess people are getting bigger and taller?
They are. I've only been there, I'm not even there a year at this stage, but in my experience going to schools and seeing, well, they're not children, they're teenagers, but seeing them, they're tall, they look more like they're rugby players than they're going to be jockeys.
Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge for the industry going forward, because you can see in the States now that it's all Latin American riders, really. And I know Joseph O'Brien has spoken about this before. Obviously, he and Donica would have good experience with this, but I think we'll probably get to this later on, but I think for female riders, this is going to be a big benefit, actually, because naturally they're normally a little bit lighter.
Yeah, well, it just went to show last weekend. I was there, I was able to claim off 9:13, so I got lucky because I am that bit lighter. I was able to ride the horse, but...
Explain for the viewers who don't understand what claiming off 9:13 means.
Oh, so I claim 5, so I get to take £5 off 9:13 because I've only so many winners ridden. And yeah, I was able to take the £5 off.
So you're riding at 9 stone 8 then, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, right, that makes sense.
So it's it's a very intriguing part of racing, that it's a good to give young jockeys a chance, and jockeys who are what do you get, 95 winners on the flat, I think, before you can become pro.
I think it's something like that, yeah.
So you start off with your £10 claim, but it obviously means that once you see a good apprentice or a good conditional, if the jockey is taking £7 is a fair bit. So if Aine's claiming off a horse and she's a very good rider, that's a benefit straight away, because especially in grueling conditions, the less weight the better.
And so it's actually weighted to get new people into the industry.
Yeah, it's an incentive for young jockeys to give them a chance, because why would I not have Ruby Walsh on if I'm going to have a £10 claimer that's just starting off, except the fact that he's literally taken £10 off the horse's burden, which is a lot.
Yeah.
That makes sense. How did you get into becoming a recruitment officer for race?
So I was in England for 2 years. I was over with Harry Fry, and I moved back in January this year, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I started riding out in Paddy's in the mornings, but I just, being the pessimist that I am, I thought that I wouldn't get any rides when I came back, and I saw that the job was advertised, and I just said, oh, well, I haven't ever been for an interview before, so if nothing else, it'll be experience to go for an interview. So went and I did the first interview, got called back for a second interview and got the job. So I kind of got it by chance. And
on a day-to-day basis then, is it literally visiting schools, and when you get there, what happens? Is there a presentation? Is it are there people already there who you've been tipped off might be interested in? Is it more general at the start?
A bit of both, really. So it took me a while to find my feet, but Keith Rowe, the director, he was brilliant. He has people in each school nearly that he's had contact with them before. And then there's still so many schools that we haven't had, any contact with, and we're hoping that if they, maybe even someone might see this today and think, oh, yeah, I have a student that might like to do that, and they could contact us and give us a shout, and I'm more than happy, more than willing to go out to the school, and I'll show them a presentation and just answer questions. I try to keep it pretty casual, because I find the minute you wheel out the laptop, unless you have lots of visual stuff, they just get bored.
Attention
they just
spans.
switch off. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's it really.
Have you enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, it's great.
Who are you working with there?
So, sorry?
Who are you working with in terms of other colleagues and so forth?
Oh, so Paddy Flood, Barry Walsh, Niall Brown.
You had Paddy on, of course, as well.
Yeah, I saw that, he was giving me some tips before I came in today. But and then Caroline, Keith, there's loads of, I think there's 22 staff there.
Wow.
Yeah. So a good number, yeah.
And so this is for essentially people who want to be jockeys, is it? Or is it another way into, are there other jobs that people who come through that part of the racing academy in race, do they end up doing other stuff apart from?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So, everyone, I think as a child, anyone that's interested in football, they want to be a football player. You don't have a child that will say, I want to be a manager, or I want to be a physio and whatever. So it's the same with the trainee jockey course. They want to be jockeys, then they get in and they realise, actually, this isn't really for me. So we guide them down whatever path we feel they're suited to. So some of them will be stable staff, some will go on, and some even go back to school, but some will go on and work in studs. There's all different lines of work for them within the industry, so we try to steer them to whatever we feel they're most suited to or what they want to do.
Make a very interesting documentary if you spent a year with race and track the kids as they progress.
Completely, yeah, because even the change in them throughout the year is unbelievable. So I started in February last year, and the group that were there, they graduated in June, and there was such a difference in them.
As a person and as a jockey,
they've just grew in confidence, and they'd chat to you, and so they would have been put out in placement in a trainer's yard, and I think that helps as well. They come out of their shell a bit. They know what it's like to be in a working environment. And
what trainers have been good to you in that regard that are helping out?
Oh, there's the Curra trainers. They're all very helpful. They're willing to take them.
Must be great for the young people.
It is. It's brilliant. So the first batch, so group 1 we call them, of this year's group, they went out 2 weeks ago, the 25th of November, they went out, and there was 12 of them, so they're gone to 12 different trainers around the Curra. So there's been a great buzz. They're all excited and telling us about what horses they've been riding, how many lots they have, and so no, it's great.
So if you go in as a 15-year-old or 16-year-old, you're leaving school. It's a 1-year-long course, and then after that, you hope that the best ones get picked up as apprentice jockeys, essentially.
So after 10 months, the course is, the duration of the course is 10 months. They graduate, and then they'll hopefully be in full-time employment, either with that trainer that they were sent on work placement with, or with another trainer. If they want to move on to another yard, we'll help them with that as well. But yeah, that's the key, just to have them in full-time employment in the industry. And then it's up to the trainer if they feel they're ready to sign on as an apprentice or a conditional, or it's gone away from that. It used to be the apprentice school, and it's gone from that. It's no longer just apprentices, so we cater for jump lads now as well.
Okay, and so if you've done the course, you've kind of finished your formal education in many respects. Do you get many people who come having done the Leaving Cert, or does it tend to be people who are hitting the 15, 16, they're like, I want to be a jockey, I know I want to be a jockey, I'm getting into this thing, if it kills me? It's like...
We get both.
Right.
So we get them from all walks of life, really. Some will have their Leaving Cert done and will have a good Leaving Cert, but they just want to be jockeys. Some aren't really motivated by school, so they decide they want to be outside working with horses, and we have those. But the course it's an educational course, so in the mornings when they start, they're in the barn, but in the afternoons they're in classrooms. So they do IT, business, loads of different class subjects and classwork.
On that, so like having spoken to footballers that have been to England, and obviously part of the remit is that the club provides schooling, but having spoken to the footballers, many of them back in Ireland now, they're like, it was completely token. There was no... The club obviously didn't care about the education, they were ticking boxes.
Yeah.
So how important is that for race, that it is proper sort of educational classes in the afternoon?
Oh, it's really important. They won't get their... So it's a QQI level 4 award at the end of it, and without the classroom work, they won't get that award at the end of the year. So they have to, it's continuous. They have to keep that up.
Assessment
yeah. So they have to pass all their tests the whole way along.
What I'm interested in is if what percentage of them can you tell? Say if you have 100 people going through race, what percentage of them have actually adequate experience riding already, such that they don't need huge education, or are they all sort of coming in from a racing background, or are some of them literally off the street almost?
I wouldn't say off the street as such, but some of them come with absolutely no experience. So we've had, I think there was 3 on this year's course that didn't have any experience with riding horses when they came, and now they're cantering on the gallop, their school, and
that is like amazing, because it takes time.
It takes time, but the lads and the instructors there, they do a really good job. They're patient. They're divided into different groups, so you don't have someone with very little experience with someone that's been pony racing. They're not expected to be at the same level as them.
And will you have many pony riders coming through then?
Yeah, so we have a few. So we work closely with the pony racing in Ireland. Well, I tried to do a little bit in England as well to see what they have. But we had a so we run these junior academy days. They're for 10 to 16-year-olds. They run kind of nearly every third Saturday from February to June, and through school holidays, so Easter and midterm, whatever. And they're days where they come in and they're put into a level by their experience. So.
Right.
Sometimes age, but mostly experience. So there's level 1 where they won't ride, and then there's level 2 where they ride, level 3 where they do a bit more in the riding, and a level 4 where they'll do schooling and everything.
Right.
So we invite pony racing riders on our level 4 days, and then it gives us a chance to chat to them about what we have to offer in racing, and it's a good network because we have had some come back and do the trainee jockey course from it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the perfect pathway for somebody to become the best jockey? Like now with kind of the evidence that you've built up over the last number of years.
Oh goodness, I don't know. Is there a perfect pathway? Sure, it depends how you're going.
Like, would you?
Yeah, you know, but then you have plenty of good riders that haven't been pony racing. You know, I don't know. From my point of view, I'd say come to race. We'll train you up. We'll give you a good start, good grounding, and then place you in a yard where we think you're most suited to.
What does that mean then? So how do you suit a yard to a young jockey?
Oh well, if you have a lad that needs a little bit more of a helping hand, you know, and might not be quite as disciplined, you'd send him to.
Might not be quite as disciplined.
Yeah.
Like on or off the horse.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
You know, that they need a little bit of a come along, do your work. And they don't take someone shouting at them. You know yourself. You know some of the trainers are, you know, I don't know.
Well,
you had plenty of jockeys in that worked in yards, and they go through different trainers because they suit some trainers and don't suit others. So
like Paul McGrath and Alex Ferguson, they were talking about during the week. But I went to the Gaeltacht when I was 15, I think. And my parents, it was only 3 weeks away, but it was 3 weeks away from home. And my parents said I came back a totally different person. And I'd say because they're spending time away from their normal environment, they grow as people.
What happened to you, Johnny?
I don't know. Just I don't know. You're spending. I remember going to America the same around either that summer or a year after, and I went away for 7 or 8 weeks, and I was really homesick. And when I came back, just felt like it really benefited me because you kind of had to graft and you had to. I remember being on a beach in New York and it was the most amazing, like lovely weather, and I was really, really homesick. And I was only 15, but like I've often thought about kids that go away to England as footballers. It's very, very tough.
Impossible.
And I'd imagine a lot of jockeys, they probably suffer a little bit at the start in race as well, the kids like.
Yeah, for sure, but they're amongst their peers, so they gel, like you see them going around laughing and joking, and they're the best of pals.
Yeah.
You know, they're like-minded, they all have the same interests, and so they get on well, which we're lucky with, but yeah, there isn't too much homesickness. They get home at the weekends, and in race, even with the staff, it's like a big family. Everyone gets on, and everyone's approachable. You can go and chat to someone, and you know some of the students will come and talk to Caroline, the operations manager. She's really approachable, and they'll go chat to her. But then some of them might come to me, or someone go to Paddy, or you know, it just depends who they feel like they can go to. But there's always someone there that they can go and have a chat with.
We've obviously done a bit on jockey training in the past, and just the techniques and the bits that you can learn and how you model yourself. But in terms of like honing the competitive instinct and all that sort of stuff, is that something that you can really address, or do you just give jockeys the best opportunity to get that out of themselves by teaching them about nutrition, making sure that they have their business affairs in order? Like, is it a twin track approach, or is it really just, look, ultimately you're going to have to hone your own talent, we're going to give you all the tools that you need to be able to do that?
Yeah, well, exactly. If you have someone that's not willing to work, you can't drive that work ethic into them. You try your very best. You give them, as you said, all the tools that they need. They see nutritionists, they speak to sports psychologists. They have Wayne, the fitness coach there, like, he was fantastic at his job. They have everything that they need, but if they don't want to do it, you can't stand over them with a fork telling them go on,
bring the horse to the water.
But you can't make them drink it.
Yeah.
But now most of them, I don't think they'd be there because during the trial week they figure out how, you know, that this isn't going to be a walk in the park. It's tough work for the 10 months. So they usually, the ones that aren't willing to work, they don't accept their place on the course.
Okay.
Or they don't get offered a place.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, really, isn't it? You wanted to talk about the evolution of the female jockey?
Yeah, so Vanessa May, who's from Maynooth, Johnny May, her dad, would have been a Moigler for over 20 years, and Vanessa I think she did her first ride when a couple of years ago, and I did a piece with her this week because she's had 4 winners for Damien English, she's not actually attached to, but she rides for. So she's kind of attached to Jack Davison, but Damien has given her chances. But Geological is a horse she rode Geological. Geological's a great story because he was bought for 800 guineas as a 2-year-old out of Richard Hannon's when he'd already shown a good level of form. It was one of these really strange purchases. I don't know, there was obviously some rumour or there was something wrong with him, but he's been a great old servant. She rode him on his 100th start, and the horse was like 22-1, and it won. She rode it the next day, and it won, and she rode it the following day, and it won. So this is a horse who now has gone north of 200 grand in career earnings. She was then put up on Tribal Path, a horse who hadn't won for 44 races, having been prolific earlier in his life. So 44 race losing streak, and that won on Tuesday. Right. So she's becoming hot property. But I'd seen her interview on Racing TV, and she's a character. Like she really has a lot of character about her. But what was really remarkable was that night her sister rode for the first time, and she's older than her. But she kind of was like, my younger sister is kind of making a bit of a name for herself. I wouldn't mind giving that a go. So she's attached herself to John Gagan. But to make a short story long, as I've done, female flat jockeys in Ireland just haven't been a thing. And yesterday, Holly Doyle had her 107th winner in the calendar year, which bettered Josie Gordon's previous record. With 107 winners in a year with a bit of racing to go is really good going. But and we've Megan Nichols as well. We don't have that in Ireland. I don't know. So you have done a little bit of research into this. It should be pointed out, Anya's record this season, which I've just brought up here, is 5 winners from 22 rides, which is very good going. So even though you're not riding that much, but you've had a winner on the flat as well.
Yeah.
So why? Like, I know we had that instance of Anne O'Brien having that shock and fall, which I thought it wasn't a great thing in that it was a horrible incident, and probably it wouldn't inspire maybe a girl to go down the route of being a flat jockey, but maybe the signs are that things are getting better.
Yeah, I approached HRI during the summer after the Microsoft Cup because I was...
The Microsoft Cup was a 50 grand race for... Hayley Turner came over. She won the race, I think.
She won the race for Joseph,
in Leopardstown. It was a great idea.
So, brilliant idea, but there was only one Irish apprentice riding in it. That was Karen Kenny. And I was like, I can't. They're just not getting the chances. And it's not. Siobhan Rutledge is another brilliant girl, well able to ride. She's had a winner now. Karen Kenny's excellent. You know, they are there, but they just weren't getting the chances. Vanessa has been fantastic. Now she's really catching the eye, and I think she's going to help the girls on the flat, like Rachel did with the girls over jumps. But they just, they weren't there. So I went to HRI and I had a chat with Shane Doyle, and he's in race planning. And I said to him about, I was probably shooting myself in the foot a little bit, but I said to him about opening up the ladies' races on the flat to apprentices as well. So like they did in the Microsoft Cup, but there was a maiden in Tipperary, and we could to do the same there, which they did. The ladies' derby has now been opened up to amateurs and apprentices. There was another race, I can't quite remember where, but so they've done that.
So you were instrumental in changing the race programme in that regard?
I don't know if it was instrumental, but I just felt it was something that needed to be done, because from my job, from my point of view, I see the girls in race and they're well able to ride. Like there isn't a lack of talent there, but I think there's a lack of opportunity. So it'd be nice.
I don't get it anymore, because I don't really see the taboo being there as much with regard to if Josephine Gordon or Holly Doyle is riding a horse that anyone has a bet on. That's a positive. Do you know what I mean? It's not. They're really good riders, and Rachel Blackmore is one of the top riders in jumps. I can't see why flat jockeys like Vanessa May haven't been more common. I don't know the answer to this.
Yeah, well, I don't know the answer either. I don't think anybody knows, but I think that it's something that's going to be a thing of the past soon, because the girls are stepping forward.
What percentage of the race kids are girls?
Oh, there's now a 50-50 divide.
Is that by design, or is it like...
No, it's just happening that there's more girls are coming forward to do the course.
So that's remarkable, and it's also like staff and racing is roughly 50-50 in a gender bias, and I still think girls get on with some horses better than lads because I just think they've kinder hands, and that's been very generic. But it kind of like she has a lovely style in the horse, Vanessa. She just nurses the horse, very soft, laid back, and these are strong horses who settle for her. And she's claiming 7, and she's riding tonight, and I think she's really bringing a lot of focus to Dundalk, bringing focus to herself and bringing focus to lady jockeys. And I couldn't get my head around why this number was so small.
I don't know. In England, it's not as small. Yeah, as I said, I did a little bit of research on it, and I think I did it back in, I don't know, was it June? And there was 10, I don't know, was there 10 female apprentice jockeys, and only 3 of them had ridden a winner. And that was, at that stage, it was Emma Doyle, Siobhan Rutledge and Karen Kenny. And Karen was the only one that wasn't claiming 10.
And Karen has experience as well.
Loads of it, yeah.
For context, how many male apprentice jockeys would there be?
I think there were 40 or 55 or something. Okay, I'd need the figures in front of me.
5 to 1 ratio or 6 to 1, yeah.
But then there's also a lack of ladies races. So in the UK you have the Silk Series, and there's so many ladies races. Like when I was there, especially up the north and kind of centre of England, there's a lot of ladies races every week on the flat. And we just don't have that here. So for the girls here, up until last summer, they couldn't ride in a ladies race, but that's been changed now. So hopefully next summer you'll see a few more of them will get a chance to showcase what they can do.
Yeah, I definitely think there should be incentives. One of the things that they brought in France, which was kind of controversial, and I didn't agree with it, and they've actually kind of rolled back a bit in it now, was given a claim to, like a £5 claim, I think it was, to female jockeys, which inevitably resulted in the female jockeys winning more races. But at the same time, it's kind of like saying, you're not as good, so we have to give you £5. I don't know what your take on that is, but I felt that it was sort of discrimination in effect.
Yeah, well, look, if you gave the likes of Nina Carberry and Katie Walsh, Rachel Blackmore, I think they've proven that they don't need £5. So
exactly.
I think the whole thing, if you can see it, you can do it, and they've done it. So there's no reason why any other girls can't. It's not a lack of talent, as I said. It's hopefully there'll be more opportunity there now, and they'll get to show that they're well able to do it.
And the public really warmed to the female jockeys, to me. And Vanessa put up a little video on Instagram as she was going out in Tribal Path, and her sister Jessica was taking the video, and she just kind of gives her a little bit of a wave and a smile as she's going out to ride a 5-2 favourite and a race that'll be watched by thousands and thousands of people. And I was just like, she's just enjoying life, free spirited. And when they come in, like a girl who's starting off, the public really warms to them straight away because they know that there are barriers to overcome. All
right, we've got to take a quick break. You're watching Friday Night Racing on our YouTube channel, or maybe you're watching us on offtheball.com, or maybe you're listening to us on the radio and News Talk this Friday night. It's brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Our special guest is Aine O'Connor. We might get Niall in if he'll come in to help us with it. You might not be aware of this, but we're in the middle of the worst barren streak that any gambler has ever had in the history of gambling.
That's not true.
13 weeks in a row. And so we might need some help. We're going to take a quick break.
Niall and I have the same birthday, as it turns out.
All right, well, maybe that's all you needed, that little bit of luck to turn.
Maybe.
He'll kill me.
Back after these.
Friday Night Racing
on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. Visit hri.ie.
All right, you're very welcome back to Friday Night Racing. Our special guest this week is Aine O'Connor, but you've also brought with you Niall Slippers Madden, who was sitting outside. So JP has gone out and dragged him in. Niall, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you, yeah.
Bit of a traumatic morning when you got the call too?
A little bit like that, all right, yeah. We're lucky enough that everyone's all right, though, so that's the main thing.
The sheep is.
The sheep.
The sheep is dead. Yeah.
You'll have all the animal rights activists ringing up now. Dead sheep.
I know.
The baby pony.
That's the last thing we need.
Was it big?
He was. I'd say it wasn't. I'd say it was a ram. I'd say she hit, but lucky enough, she's all right. So live to fight another day.
Very good. Well, the reason we've dragged you in is that you might bring some good luck to Johnny. It says here in my script this week, Johnny's search for winners has become reminiscent of the search for water during drought season in the Serengeti.
Who wrote that? Genuinely?
The barren spell now stands at 13 weeks after Jukebox Chive was unplaced last weekend, so we didn't even hit the post.
Ran terrible.
Yeah.
Gavin Cromwell's horse.
Yeah.
Brawler one, didn't he?
I also put the jinx on Sam Crow as well by meeting him the other day. Didn't work out too well. What a race with
that beautiful photograph, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so if you are having any
Slippers, you're doing the tip this week. That is it. It can be in England or Ireland.
Any tours don't bring Johnny is the... So the Tote Irish Junior Jockeys Fund persists to linger on €7,549. It's racing this week from Navan, Cork and Punchestown in Ireland. The highlight's going to be the John Durkin Chase on Sunday. In the UK, the remarkable On the Sow will attempt to become the oldest horse ever to win the Tingle Creek at Sandown on Saturday afternoon. Johnny, before we get to your tip, right, where are we going to do it in order?
So we might as well start with the Tingle Creek. I don't know what the guys make of it, because this just has the makings of an absolute cracker on so many levels. Like On the Sow, 11 going on 12, one of the most likeable horses in training. Obviously the new kid on the block, I suppose, in Defi Desoy. The interesting thing about Defi Desoy is that when he clashed with Shakin Poursois last year at Punchestown, he couldn't get to within 4 lengths of him. So if he could win this, how good is Willie Mullins' horse, I suppose? But Nylite, I don't know, you've Politolog, a previous winner of the race, waiting patiently, right good horse. Janika, proper good. So Royale, lovely horse. Well, where do you start?
Yeah, as you said, it's one of those great Tingle Creeks. It's the race that gets me every time. When
Really?
Moscow Flyer beat Well Chief and Azurtia.
One of my favourite races of all time.
It was just, it's one of those races where you watch it and the hair stands on the back of your neck. Because it was the first time the 3 horses had stood up and there was no mistakes of any of them.
And Moscow won.
And Moscow won. But it was just, you could see them, it was just one of those great races. And it's one of my favourite Tingle Creeks, if not my favourite race to watch. Like,
if you look at So Royale, for example, when he doesn't run behind Altior, he's very, very good. And there's no Altior here, and he's like a 6-to-1 shot. So it just shows the depth of the race. I think Defi Desoy might have a bit more to do than the betting suggests. I think
so. I still think he'll win. I think it's a cracking Tingle Creek. Politolog, as you said, waiting patiently, dropping back and trip back to 2 miles. It's one of those cracking races now, but I still think Defi Desoy, I think he's a bit of class about him, and Barry gets on real well and produce him late. He has that little boot.
He does have toe, yeah.
He does, and they will go a right good gallop. You've On the Sow to make the running, and you've Show Royal, who's usually very handy, and there's another horse of Simon Noors in it that's usually very handy as well.
Yeah, Janika.
He's usually very handy as well. There'll be loads of pace, and I think Barry will just produce Defi after the last, and I think he'll take all the beating.
I could ask either of you this, but what's it like to ride the 2-mile track at Sandown?
I've never ridden it.
You've never ridden it?
No, only over hurdles. I've only ridden Sandown over hurdles.
I'm surprised at that after this. It must be electric.
It is. When I rode it now, the ground was heavy, so we weren't flying. But at the railway fences, they come up good and fast.
Bang.
But it's mad. If you miss one, you'll probably miss the 3. Where if you wing the first one, you'll meet them all. Like, it all depends what you're riding. But if you miss one, you're put under the cosh straight away, because everyone's starting to roll into the...
That's what happened to Fox Norton, I remember, when he was beaten by Politolog. He just couldn't get into rhythm because of the fences.
That's right, yeah. But he was only just beaten. If he'd, I'd say, jumped one of them, he'd have won that day. But yeah, no, it's a cracking race, and it's a cracking chase course to ride on as well.
Is there a good atmosphere around that?
It is, yeah. It's one of
like a proper,
one of their big days, yeah. There's another Grade 1 on that day as well. I think it's a novice chase.
Do you notice that?
You would. You'd feel it walking around the ring. You'd be able to tell you when there's one of those big days. You can feel the atmosphere when you're walking out.
Because everybody's up, right? The stable hands are up. They've spent a little bit longer making the horse look as nice as they possibly can. These little things all go into the whole pageantry of the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big challenge for...
day,
They do, but sure,
it's a challenge for racing to get people going, because racing is far better when there's people there. It's just the atmosphere and it's something that I found over the years that it's not as good as it was. There used to be an unreal roar when 2 horses jumped the last together, and that'll get you going. And now, I don't know, people are almost too reserved in the crowd. I think we need to get that back. Imagine the crowd that day when Moscow beat Azurtia and Well Chief. People, it was like as if their lives depended on it. And that makes you that really brings you to another level of excitement, I think.
But then you wouldn't, when you're on the racecourse riding horse, you wouldn't hear that.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're focused on one thing, and that, I presume you do hear it, but your mind doesn't register. But as soon as you cross the line, then you can hear everything,
Mad, isn't it?
But I suppose it's just...
Your ears pop. Okay, right, I see. All right.
Focused.
I suppose it's a good thing in one way that you're concentrating on what you're doing, and you're not thinking about what else is going on. You're only concentrating on what you're doing.
As a matter of interest, when your horse is trailing off the back, are you like, having a look around? Oh, this is nice. Does that happen?
So sometimes when
the race is over?
One of those big races that if you're dropped out and you've lost your chance, and you'd be having a little peep to see what is going to win it, when you can obviously hear everything then. But that's just when you're hacking away home, even if you've pulled up and you're walking back and you're keeping an eye on to see, but that's just your competitors. You want to know what wins,
If there's one track that I associate Niall Madden with, it's Navan, because of your days with Noel Mead and coming there on the
bridle.
bridle.
Operation Houdini.
Yeah, so Niall rode a horse that I had a half of a leg in back in the day, and he, because they were good days.
Yeah, he won 2 or 3 hurdles in Navan.
Yeah, he got up on one of the most improbable victories of all time one day. Got up, I think he went about 500 to 1 in running. Got up on the line to be the horse of Colin Murphy's, and won on the bridle another day. We thought this is the best thing ever, but with some good days.
We did, yeah, good days. We had a bad day then, and was it the Tri-Town?
Yeah, he headbutted you
He
mid-race.
did, yeah.
That was so depressing because we, anyway, but they were great days. But the Tornado
We had to
Flyer,
put a damper on, didn't we?
Tornado Flyer is running in the Grade 3 210 tomorrow, and I don't know what you made of him at Naas, but he's a proper horse.
On Sunday, yeah.
This is Saturday at Navan, actually. So he's running in running in the Grade 3.
The novice chase,
running against I'm a Game Changer.
He was good.
Made one mistake.
He made one mistake, but he didn't go on and win his race extremely well though either, you know. I think he only won half a length of the death. I'm a Game Changer ran a cracker in Navan first time behind Facker to Derry.
Yeah.
And then fell next time out, still going well, but fell too early now to call it. Had the chance. Tornado Flyer is probably the highest rated hurdler in it. Should take all the beat, and we know how Willie Mullins can produce these horses back over fences after having a good hurdle.
Absolutely. Great opportunities for Danny as well, because with Paul in Sandown, like Danny's getting proper rides at the moment.
He's getting plenty of spins, but Danny's riding extremely well. He's riding with loads of confidence. You know, with Paul away now, but even Danny's getting the second ones. David's out injured. You know, it just happens that Danny's just slotting in there as number 2 at the moment, and he's getting well rewarded, and he's giving back the winners as well.
Absolutely.
When you say he's riding with confidence, is it possible that a rider can be riding with confidence and not having winners? Like you know you've done everything you possibly can.
Yeah, I suppose you can if you're doing nothing wrong. But when you're riding winners and
That's
gradually, like every day going racing, but you're riding better horses, you ride with a lot more confidence, of course you do.
You've come to me loads of times and said after finishing 3rd, 4th, I give that some peach to get around. So you definitely do.
Of course you do. Well, like if you're riding a horse that you don't fancy and they're running real well, you come back in and go and just...
I did everything I could.
I get that a good ride.
It's also, do you know, like history is written by the winners. Sean Flanagan gave a mare called Mary Francis an unbelievable ride yesterday, and I was watching the whole way, and of course it was done on the line. But the tactical nature of the ride, and like he knew what to expect from the horse. But like that won't get on Ride of the Month. I don't know if anyway. The Ride of the Month isn't on Racing TV, but at the races back in the day, that would never be on Ride of the Month because it didn't win. But like that to me is completely irrelevant. He couldn't have done any more.
Yeah, but it happens, you know, that you can give one a serious ride and not win. But they always say it's a short head between giving one the best ride ever and giving one a balls.
Yeah.
Even though you finish second, you still couldn't have done any better.
And you're talking about inches after 3 miles.
Like, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, okay. So that's Navan on Saturday, and are you not making a selection in that race, are you?
No, we're not. We go to Cork before we get to the John.
Hang on, we should ask, do you want to make a selection for us, honestly, this week? Because we're stuck.
Wait, no, he's doing the nap, though. He's
what is
doing
the
the nap? But we haven't gotten to that yet.
Well, then it's still your nap. Maybe he doesn't have a race.
No, I'm going to wait for the John Durkin.
Okay.
Right.
Let's get to Cork. Cork has an absolute cracker of a card. It's 3 graded races. It falls alongside, obviously, the John Durkin, but a cracking meeting, and the Hilly Way, which has been won by proper horses. If Us and Them doesn't go, it'll still mean Celius Emery, Ballyocean in Great Field. I think Celius Emery will take the beating, but it's a good race.
It's a cracking race. I think the most interesting part of the race is who's going to make the running. Because
Great Field?
Ballyocean is very keen, but so is Great Field, and the two of them are absolutely electric to jump.
Yeah.
Great Field is a little bit wild at times.
Yes, bit of an understatement.
But he knows what he's doing. I know he's after falling a few times, but when he is on song, he's a fair horse.
Unbelievable engine.
You know, but
who would you like to ride in it if you had the opportunity? Great Field for the crack?
I'd probably go Ballyocean to be the safe ride. But, you know, listen, Great Field probably hasn't had the greatest of runs recently. You know, just little things happening. Ballyocean's had an unbelievable run of things. Had plenty of wins and handicaps, and he was very good in Navan. Was it last year Barry rode him, and he was just unbelievable.
He's a proper horse,
for a trio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Celius Emery is obviously the one to beat, because the two boys could actually line it up for him. Us and Them will definitely stay. The ground's going to be very heavy in Cork on Sunday.
He's declared on Saturday as well. So
he's declared for the handicap on Saturday. I can see him going here though for this race. It'd be a race now I'd like to watch rather than tipping one in it. I can just see the two boys taking each other on a little bit too early on the heavy ground, and Silas Emery coming and doing them.
Any fancies in the stairs, in the staying hurdle and the Mayor's novice chasing? Obviously you've Tintangle and Sonoria, Ellie May coming back, and then Alpine Cobra of Charles's Battle of Midway, Nice Horse and Old Mead.
Yeah, I think the 3 mile novice hurdle is a good race. The horse of Gardens, he got up just to win, like dead heat on the line at Fairyhouse.
Yeah.
You know, he's stepping back up and trip again. That'll take a bit of beating. It's Philly's getting a bit of an allowance as well. And then you have the horse of Ricky Doyle, Mark Fahey's won a listed race there last time, was actually very impressive.
Well, yeah.
Has to step up in class again. And you've Willie's that is coming, won last time, but came from a long layoff before that. And we know how Willie can get them right, and I'd say that'll improve again. I'd say it'll take plenty of beating Willie's horse, Vias Le Toy.
Your French is really good.
Yeah.
So you're keeping fairly quiet there.
When is the wedding, by the way?
Don't.
One of the big weddings.
There'll be a divorce before there's a wedding because we
you're not married.
we can't set a date.
No?
So no, we haven't done anything about it yet. There's loads of time.
That's not very encouraging.
Yeah.
This is a question that you need to get ready for whenever, you know,
Well,
you
this is
eventually,
Yeah.
whenever you ever, you know.
That'll be a good wedding.
Whenever
That'll be a proper racing wedding. And when racing people get together for a few drinks, all bets
JP
are
wants to
off.
know, where are you Christmasing this year, Johnny?
Christmasing?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. Don't know.
Oh, it hasn't come up yet.
No.
Very good.
Don't know. It's always a challenge to get to Leopardstown from Galway on Seems the Day morning.
Why is that?
Well, I don't drive. There's no public transport, so it's like there is no public transport Stevens Day. So I get a lift from the good bookmakers, the Keenans from Roscommon. But it entails getting up too early for my liking on a Stevens morning.
You not driving, is it?
No, it's
Is it
global
fixable?
warming.
Is it
Like
fixable?
climate change.
I mean,
I'm
come
all
on.
about the climate
What
change.
about an electric car?
Electric,
What?
yeah.
An electric car.
The John Durkin is on Sunday anyway. What a race, though, to be fair. Whether
That
I'm
is
driving
cracking
or not.
race, yeah.
I don't know. I thought there'd be 4 or 5 runners in this. It's actually 9. Presenting Percy. Anya, where are you on Presenting Percy? What went wrong last year?
Oh, I'm wrong. I don't know.
Did
Did he?
Kelly?
No, I haven't. I don't know if I've even spoken to Pat Kelly. Probably amongst others. Well, sure. Look, he's defeating the Gold Cup. They said he scoped dirty or something afterwards.
was lame,
Wasn't he?
I
He was
think, yeah.
lame after. That was right.
Never got
Yeah.
into a rhythm.
No,
never
he
got
was never
into
going
it.
on the Gold Cup.
He only had the one run in the Galmoy before he went there, which he won, I know. But I think, this year he's going to have a better prep for that Gold Cup if he's
Definitely,
heading
yeah.
down that way. So, yeah, it'd be good to see him back over fences. He's a proper horse. So.
I'm with him each way. I don't know what you make. You with Min or?
You'd have to be at Min. First run back since Punchestown. I think it was the second that time, Punchestown.
Yeah,
behind
second to Undersaw. That was
Undersaw.
another great
Over
race.
2 miles. Back over 2.5 here today. Last time was 2.5 was an Aintree where
It was
it
an
won,
astounding performance.
where it beat Politolog, wasn't it? You know, so we know Willie can get them right first time, right? That's not going to bother me. It's a cracking John Durkin, though. As you said, 9 runners.
And load of Cheltenham winners, load of Grade 1
like
winners.
Shattered Love there getting the allowance then as well. Gardens, Jack Kennedy back on board.
Great to see 9 runners as well, each way betting, and good proper
Yeah,
field.
but that's it. But it's nice to see plenty of runners in these
Defo.
Group Ones, or even
of different owners
Group Threes.
represented.
You know, like we see those in England where there's only 3 or 4 runners in these Group Ones. You see it at the weekend.
It's
There's plenty of
demoralising.
runners. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's brilliant to see
Absolutely.
plenty of runners. Everyone taking their chance. It makes a better race for the public as well as owners.
Absolutely.
Plenty to race for.
But is your nap in this race then?
Yeah, Min's my nap in this race.
There we go. That's the tote Irish injured jockeys nap. Min in the.
You're presenting Percy, are you?
It wouldn't be my nap, but at the prices I'd be with him. But Min is definitely the horse to beat in that race.
Okay. What are the prices? Give me-
Min is going to be about 8 to 11, I'd say.
Right. Well, we can any port in a storm, I believe, is the
Any
phrase that we're
port in
looking
a
for. And what do you reckon presenting Percy is going to be?
I think it's 5s at the moment, like each way price.
But he is an each way price. You know, with 9 runners, he's definitely an each way
Pat
price.
hasn't had a winner this season now. I don't know why that is.
How many runners has he had, though?
Nearly 60, I think.
Oh, has he?
Not great, yeah. So, as I was saying to Philip Reynolds the other week, goes, I'm aware of that because I own a lot of them. And, you know, you go through lean spells, but anything the brother has this weekend worth backing? Your brother's
He's a few in Dundalk this evening. You know, they're obviously only racing 1 day a week now, if not 2 in Dundalk. But
You must be proud of what he's become as a jockey.
It's unbelievable. He lost his claim last Friday, and it's a great achievement for any jockey to do. It's 95 winners to lose that on the flat, which is extremely difficult in this time where, you know, the amount of racing that's on in Ireland and how competitive it is for an apprentice to do it. I think it's for anyone to ride out their claim over jumps or on the flat. I think it's brilliant to do, and it's definitely deserves a pat on the back for it.
Absolutely.
When are you out again?
I'm in Navan tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. One friend a Boulder in the handicap chase, Everlasting Promise.
So it's every weekend you're riding, basically?
Pretty much, yeah. Things are going well, touch wood. As I said, when I came back from England, I thought I had a good season in England, but I just thought that I wouldn't get the rides. There's chances here again, but yeah, thankfully Enda's very good to me. Paddy Roach has been excellent to me. There's, you know, getting a few rides. I still go over to England. I've been in England the last couple of weekends for Harry, still riding a bit for him. So
it's great, like you've lots of variety.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and I have good people in my corner. You know, you couldn't be riding for better people than the three I just named. So I'm very lucky.
Everlasting Promise tomorrow, because of Anya's claim, will have, instead of 9.13, we'll have 9.8. So us and them will be giving us £30. So that makes a big difference. Navan is a very, very testing track. But I can't help but think Everlasting Promise might be named after this engagement situation. Like, when is it going to happen? Like, everlasting.
I thought I was bad enough to listen to. Yeah.
Cheesiest segue.
Get married first.
I waited 8 years for an engagement, so I can wait another 8 for marriage. I'm good.
Tote customers can ring in the new year at Punchestown at the Tote sponsored day on December 31st. Comment under the Facebook video for a chance to win tickets. So if you want to get on there and leave a comment, we'll be in touch later on with the winners for the tickets for that one. And of course, Friday Night Racing Off the Ball is brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. Thanks to both of you for coming in. You've been great sports. And hopefully we've got a winner this week, Johnny.
Hopefully, yeah.
You weren't picking it.
But it will be an absolute belt of a race. Don't miss it.
Yeah. Okay, make sure you're watching the John Durkin. That's us this week on Friday Night Racing. We stream live every Friday afternoon across all of our social channels on offtheball.com. And then we're live on News Talk every Friday evening from 8 o'clock as well.
Friday Night Racing
on Off the Ball.
Brought to you by Horse Racing Ireland. Love every racing moment. Visit hri.ie.